welcome to Outside the Box. You guys are in for a treat tonight. This bitch is on fire. Yeah, you know what, guys? I've had it with this planet today, and I'm going to do a little bit of a disclaimer here. And Patrice, I do have you on the board here. I'm going to make your mic hot. So just let you know that what you say will go on the air, but I need to get this disclaimer, so your mic is hot now. I'm waiting for Tony to call in. Also, Peter will probably be calling in as well, hopefully. Just want to make sure you're there, Patrice. Can you just give me a quick hello?
Hi, I'm here.
There she is. We're going to start tearing. Okay, before we go any further, disclaimer. What you're going to hear tonight is my opinion. It's not the opinion of anyone else, because I don't offer my opinion to anyone else. They can have it or they can leave it. I really don't care. This is not the opinion of Freedom Reigns. This is not the opinion of Blog Talk Radio, nor is it anyone else's opinion that is coming on to this show tonight. This is Kate of Gaia's opinion. And what I'm going to say is you have a free will choice to tune in and stay tuned in if you can handle it. And if you can't handle it, there's the door. Don't let it hit you on the way out, because quite frankly, I don't care. You guys aren't paying attention, and some of you are. And this might sound like an angry bitch rant, but it's not. This is a plea of desperation for those that are of the light to wake up and start shining. I am sick, sore, and tired of getting stupid, absolutely ridiculous emails from people that somehow need me to cut their fucking mitten strings for them. Okay, and that's the part I was telling you about. That's why I have disclaimers. All right? What I need you guys to do tonight is pay very close attention. And you're going to hear a resonance that you have not heard in your soul for a very long time. And if you don't, you get to hang out here for the next round. But quite frankly, that's your choice. And I'm going to love you for it. I'm going to let you walk over to the electrical outlet and stick your tongue in it. Never mind the fork. And you go ahead and you try yourself, and I'm happy with that. I just love you for that. But what I'm going to talk about tonight is something that everyone needs to hear, and I'm sick, sore, and tired of the religiocosis freaks, those that think there is some sort of little remedy in their bullshit system, because there isn't. Okay? This is your wake the fuck up phone call. This is the universe talking. Why? Because it's my universe. You know how I know? I close my eyes and I can see it. I'm awake. In the dark, you will find the light. You won't find it out in the illusion. Listen to assholes like Drake and David Wilcock and you name it. You can listen to these guys all fucking day long, and I don't really particularly care if you do or not. You want to be distracted, you knock yourself out. I love you enough to get this passionate with you tonight, because quite frankly, I'm at the end of my rope, bothering to try. So I'm going to be really, really blunt with everyone tonight. If you can't handle what you're going to hear, go listen to Drake. Go turn on American Idol or something. That's where your head is, and you'll probably get a better view if you actually take it out of government. Your rectum mind, in short, so the sun doesn't shine. Take your head out of your ass and you might actually start seeing stuff. And I will say this, yes, it is a very dark area in there, and yeah, you probably see a lot of light if you know how to create it, but quite frankly, if your head's there, you probably don't know how to create it in the first place. But here's the truth of the matter. We have all these children running around. We have bucket loads of children running around. And they're carrying all sorts of things like guns and tasers. And they work, you know something, I got to tell you, every judge I've seen wearing if you're going to cross-dress, get something that's a bit more stylish. And quite frankly, some of the roads I've seen really could use some pumps, guys. Honest to God. At least get some pattern, show some style, show some flair. You know, if you're going to walk around wearing dresses, at least try to look the part and accessorize. Right? And I'm talking to all the lawyers out there, all the lawyers. All the judges, all the people that are members of the bar society that think they're something because you're pretty good at bullying kids in school, lying through your fucking teeth to get your way. This is a problem with children. That's what they do. They hide because they don't want to get killed for anything. And upon doing that for the first time, they discover very easily that, oh, well, I didn't do much, so I'm going to do it again. But eventually, here's the truth, kids. You're going to get caught, and you already are. And here's the thing, there is no time limitation on this because time does not exist. There is a statute of limitations. Seriously, statute of limitations? Are you hearing this? Are you paying attention? That's why the bench of God, and I've met a few of them, Judge Murray, Judge Beazelo, listening to the bullshit tripe of mead versus meads from some wanker called Rook, who just rooked himself. Queen 5, Rooks 3, check. You're done. Okay, because all you did, wanker, is you coalesced all of us. You brought Rob Menard, you brought Dean Clifford, you brought Michael Collins, you brought Mary Croft, you brought me, you brought us all to the same table. Well done, thank you. Thank you so much, because here's what's happened. We win. Now, this is one grain of sand on your shitty little beach that just turned over and the whole landscape changed. Because I rule my universe. Guess what my universe is? It's yours. I'm going to be the one making the choices now. Because you can't copyright creation. You can't copyright sacred geometry. You can't copyright. I got Tony trying to bring some. Okay, Tony there. As you can tell, the cat is on fire tonight. I've had my fill. I've got a friend of mine that's right now. A friend of mine is sitting in jail for a while. And I've given people the answers. Thank you, Peter, for doing that for me. Anyway, thank you, Peter, for how to show the bluff. I've got a couple of things that I'm going to read out to you guys tonight, and in particular, Patricia, I'm going to get up from as far as I'm going to get on like talk. That little kind of fire with something fired out of me tonight. And I think they got a good idea now. And I'm not going to be pulling any punches, and I'm not going to be taking any shit either. And I'm going to be talking to people like Travis Emily, who needs to either prove himself to be awake or prove himself to be a shill. You got choices here, my friend, so you choose now. And I hope you tuned in, because if you don't get it after tonight, I'm sorry, my friend, but you're out of the Skype room, you're off my email, you don't get any more truth handed to you, because quite frankly, you have never stood. And something else too, and I need to get this off my chest, because this has been bothering me for a while. The minute I got grabbed at my house, and I will not pass any names here, I will say some people know this, but for the most part, there's an individual that actually reached their hand out to help Sue and I right afterwards. Not sure the motives now. I've been for a very long time, because as soon as I got her merchant papers, and I'll tell you this right now, it creeped the shit out of her. And I'll tell you something else right now. I'm not blaming anybody for anything, because all things for reason. But I'll tell you, that was the catalyst that ended it for me and her. So thank you very much for that. I'm just giving it back, just with love. That's okay, because all things for a reason, because if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have woke up. So there's your good and evil at the same time. All right, so get a big pipe out, shove it in, and start smoking the fucking thing, because quite frankly, I don't know what you're smoking, but it sure ain't true. So here it is in a nutshell. Patrice, what I need you to do right now is drop some... Oops. Oh, Jesus. There we go. Are you there, Patrice?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry. I had a dropout. Sorry, I had a phone problem.
You never have to apologize to me, hon. And we're going to give you some radio disclaimer training 101 tonight, okay? So I assume that everything you're saying is your opinion from your perspective and not anything else.
You're breaking up on me. I'm sorry, Kate. I didn't hear what you just said. It was garbled.
Oh, so they're garbling me now, eh? Anyway, let me just go to the Freedom Range chat room. Talking through a paper towel tube, and there was feedback as well. Can't comprehend much. Thanks, Karina. Are you guys still hearing some feedback?
You're clear now. That's clear. I can hear you clearly now. Yeah.
All right. So it just took a minute for us to catch on to the fact they're going to run interference. And I should do that at the start. Don't interfere with me. Not my free will interfered with. So anyway, what I'm going to thanks, Lynn. What I'm going to do now, Patrice, is I'm going to get you to drop some names as far as lawyers are concerned, because I have the contact information now to get a hold of this little child, and I'm going to have some fun with this little child, and I'm going to hand her ass in terms of Section 18 United States Code. Next stop, The Hague. That sound like fun?
Okay. Yes, sounds great.
All right, well, rock and roll, kiddo. Take it away for a minute.
Okay. Let's see. Just give me 1 second to step into a different location. Can you still hear me well?
I hear you great.
I'm on. Okay, good. Okay. Yes, I was on the radio show Friday night, and at the same time, attorneys Gifford and Perkins, Cynthia Gifford and Sherry Perkins, who are, evil, obstructionist, hateful, discriminatory, really in the dark individuals, decided to challenge and motion the court to find out what my identification is and what my status is and what this, sovereign citizen thing is all about. They're really very upset and creating a lot of negativity and stir and upset, and basically they need to be put in check. They're like snarling, angry hounds who may have gone rabid and need, to have a muzzle put on them or be tested for rabies. They need some strong medicine, I believe.
Yeah, they're children, and it's like I said at the outset. What we have here are a bunch of children that think they are something, and they're caught in their own trap, their own illusion. These are the ones that are the most duped of all, and this is why I'm going to share both pity and you see, because I'm getting tired of watching them walk over to the outlet and sticking their tongue in it and getting shocked, and then, of course, I have to be the one there to hold their hand and everything else and tell them not to do it again, and they keep doing it. So what we're going to do now is when they go over to the outlet and stick their tongue in it, I'm going to put my hand on the back of their head to make sure it stays there.
Right.
That's all. That's tough love. That's their free will choice. Your free will choice to be a member of the Bar Society is also your free will choice to hang at the Hague.
Right, exactly. And how about the invitation? I gave a very nice invitation to U.S. Attorney Stephen Danbrook, the criminal chief of the criminal division of the District of Rhode Island U.S. Attorney's Office. I gave him a lot of information, a very generous and kind and open invitation to help me with this process. I notified him, gave him some supporting documentation, gave him my status, told him who the bad actors were, and, under U.S.C. Title 18, implored him to assist me. So far, he's been a little silent or stunned or something like that, so I think he needs a jolt to wake up also.
Oh, no problem. I've got no problems handing out USC 18 to anybody. I've handed it out before. And
I handed it out to him as well, but he needs to read it and act upon it.
It gets better than that, because I'm going to share a little something. I cleaned out my computer, but this little notice kind of just stayed on my desk for some reason after I took 4 gigs out of it. No, I don't do much. They do. Anyway, and a little something else too, guys. I want to extend the most amazing gratitude to all of those that have actually found it in their hearts to help me, help you, help others by the donations that have come in. Those are the individuals that know what value is. Those are the ones that understand that if they don't chip in, that this doesn't work anymore, that those of us that are trying our best to stay on top of this game, who have given our all, in my case to the tune of millions, family, life, everything. Oops, just one sec. That's no. Anyway, I got 2 computers running right now because I can't just work with one. But I do want to read this little thing here. And this is the fraud and swindle statute that all non-Masonic members are liable for. And I will mention that as well, that the Masons, the Freemasons, are not held under the statutes. That's one of the deals they get. Sorry guys, I speak universal law, and if you're on this planet playing in this system, you're part of it and you get to wear it too. So there's let's just say that statute limitations that you have is now null and void, coming from an entered apprentice who said, no, I'm not doing this. First one of my family did not do it. So there you go. Shove that one up your ass. So here we go. This is fraud and swindle statute. Whoever, having devised or intending to devise any scheme or artifice to defraud, or for obtaining money or property by means of false or fraudulent pretenses, representations or promises, or to sell, dispose of, loan, exchange, alter, give away, distribute, supply, or furnish, or procure for unlawful use any counterfeit or spurious coin, obligation, security, or other article, or anything represented to be or intimated or held out to be such counterfeit or spurious article for the purpose of executing such scheme or artifice or attempting to do so, places in any post office or authorized depository for mail matter, any matter or thing whatever to be sent or delivered by the postal service, or deposits or causes to be deposited, any matter or thing whatever to be sent or delivered by any private or commercial interstate carrier, or takes or receives therefrom any such matter or thing, or knowingly causes to be delivered by mail or such carrier according to direction thereon, or at the place which it is directed to be delivered by the person to whom it is addressed, any such matter or thing shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years, or both. If the violation occurs in relation to or involving any benefit authorized, transported, transmitted, transferred, dispersed, or paid in connection with a presidentially declared major disaster or emergency, as those terms are defined in Section 102 of the Robert T. Stafford Disaster Relief and Emergency Assistance Act, that's 42 United States Code 5122, or affects a financial institution, such person shall be fined not more than $1 million, or imprisoned not more than 30 years, or both. So there you go. I have much more here, guys. I have all the lists, United States Code 1341, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, which involves frauds and swindles, fictitious name or address, fraud by wire, radio or television. I think you qualify in all of these there, Patrice, for your lovely friends out in Rhode Island. Bank fraud, injunctions against fraud, definition of scheme or artifice to defraud, and the list goes on and on. Here's the beauty of it, too. Let's continue with 1347 through 1351. Healthcare fraud, securities and commodities fraud, attempt and conspiracy, failure of corporate officers to certify financial reports, and fraud in foreign labor contracting. Now, if that isn't a shit pile of uh-oh, I don't know what is. So here's where the big uh-oh comes in, because we're calling their bluff right now. And I'll tell you what the bluff is, guys. And I've said it before, and Peter has outlined it so wonderfully. And Deatra and Peter talked about it for a half an hour on Outside the Box on the 26th of September. For a half hour, that 1 half hour showed anyone that's still stuck on the plantation, as we call it, or Babylon, or Mammon, or whatever you want to call the system side of things in their corporate world illusion, we have the means to call the bluff. And again, go back to listen to Outside the Box, September 26, 2012. And you will hear Deatra explain in beautiful detail with Peter, not even that much detail actually, exactly how she called their bluff and what made them shit themselves and run for cover. The kids got caught in the lie. And what the lie is they're duping people into thinking they're merchants of law, which, because you use paper currency all the time and you use contracts and checkbooks and all the rest of it, you are an expert. So what Deatra did was she called them on that, went in to settle the account. And that's the truth they don't want you to find out. I was reading in one of my other Facebook groups that I'm part of about the case where the queen is not actually the queen and you can go in and use this in court. Well, quite frankly, if you're in court, you're already in dishonor. What you need to do is talk to the Goonies at the front and let them know that they're lying fraudsters as well. And I would highly recommend that they get copies of this. And by the way, I will be posting information that can be emailed around. So here's what I'm going to ask everyone out there tonight to do. In your respective cities and towns and wherever you are, state, province, country, I don't care where in the world, because if you're dealing with a lawyer or a judge, you're dealing with the City of London, Bar Society, citizen. And it's time to hand these guys their asses. And here's how we do it. You're going to find every email address you can get your greedy little hands on, because, hey, they taught us well, didn't they, about greed? And you're going to get a nice big compilation of these things, and you're going to help me change the world. And we can do this overnight. We can do this overnight. So what I'm working on is a compilation email template that I can give to everyone that they can just go, put in the necessary, don't even have to worry about the names. As long as the emails are there, served, done. How's that sound? Does that sound like fun, Patrice?
Yes, things that make you go,
Yeah, yeah. I've told people many times that I am an absolute bitch, and well, I am. Oh, and there's Tony. I've been too busy ranting. I didn't see him. Hey, Tony, you there, buddy? Tony.
Yep, I'm here, Kate.
Yeah, you've heard me on fire before, haven't you?
Oh, yes.
Not like tonight, though. I've had it.
You sound pretty wired. Let's put it that way.
This is Sunday. This is I take Sunday off for, do my research and quietly sit and, maybe write a song or something, which I haven't had time for in 3 years. But anyway, this is my moment to kind of, so, based on a email back and forth today, and the individual that emailed knows exactly who I'm talking to right now. I just get tired of people either thinking that I need to hold their fucking hand when they're not even willing to walk up in front of here's a test, guys. You want to try this out without getting shot or anything? Just walk up to a bylaw officer in front of them and just drop something on the ground and wait for them to react and then see what happens. Oh, sorry, I just dropped that, But what do you see the control these guys think they have? They haven't got a damn bit of control unless it's you that grants it. And this is not about being belligerent. This is about going at these guys with peace. What we're trying to do is stop their war. They're the ones at war, not us. And if we stand and keep taking it, then we are continuing in the war. So what we need to do is stand up and slap these little children back into the fucking Stone Age where they belong, because they're going to do another round here of 25,952 years, and that's their choice. Or they can choose to move on and decide that what they're doing is actually criminal activity. You see, criminal activity, there is no such thing as criminal law because it's all civil. And I've said this for years. It's all commercial. It's all about the money. And this goes back to the Phoenicians. All right, I was talking to Dean Clifford there last week, and he made a beautiful observation on this. And this is something I did not know. And what he said was, and I've looked at places, I'm surprised I missed this one. But he said, the Phoenicians were a bunch of different tribes, and they were constantly warring with each other. They were constantly picking apart, and fighting. But as soon as any one of those Phoenician tribes was attacked by an outside source, they all unified into one coalescing energy ball of get out of here. They would go and literally annihilate their enemy, get rid of it, and then they go back to fighting with each other. And that's what's happening now. Only the difference is with us is now that we've got the coalescence that has occurred, and it has occurred. I've seen it. I lived it. I was part of it. Thank you, Rook. You have rooked your entire system. Live up and see. Pay attention to now. And what he has done is he has unified all of us. In everything that he was putting into this, it wasn't even him writing it really. It was just a bunch of lawyers that sit around. These judges, they don't bother doing this stuff. They just give it to their skivvies to do it. The ones that get actually fewer table scraps than the judges get, because these judges and whatever, they think they're getting getting everything. And they're not. What they're doing is they're getting a deeper and deeper sentence into the physical universe. So quite frankly, I don't care. I don't give a shit anymore. It's time to bury these guys with love. What do you guys think?
Absolutely.
Right. Put them out of their misery. They've got to be put out of their misery.
Exactly.
They can either get strong medicine and be healed, or if the rabies is untreatable, we got to put them down.
Exactly. Well, here's the joy of it. They get to put themselves down. We don't have to lift a finger. And this is the joy of this. We don't have to lift a finger. We just have to change our world within. That's it.
Right.
We just have to choose within. Who's in control here? Them or you?
We.
You got it.
We are.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, I'm agreeing on this beach too. If I decide to turn over and change the landscape, guess what? That's my choice. And guess who rolled over? You guys have too. Oh, look at the beach change. And just one grain of sand at a time. That's all it takes. Not rocket science.
We've inadvertently acquiesced to this whole situation coming about in the first place, and that's what we need to get our heads around ourselves. And when we've done that, then we can see the landscape, and then we can change it.
Yeah, everything that's happened to me was my fault. I was there, whether I agreed with it or not, but I was there. So I'm okay with that. And there's the problem with the ego, and that's what I was talking with Peter about today, and a few others. The problem with ego is ego cannot tolerate being, duped. It's like, well, I'm not that stupid. I'm this, that, and the others. And, no, you got duped. Okay.
Right.
Time to suck it up and move on. But anyway, yeah, give me a breather, guys. I'm just going to power this around.
Well, that's the point. You see, this thing about natural law, we just, we were tricked. We were mind controlled. We were conditioned to go along with whatever it was that they wanted us to go along with. Unfortunately, we've got a long way down the road, and we've gone along with far too much for far too long. And basically, it's about coming through now to consciousness and saying, okay, all right, fair enough, you had us up until that particular point. Then I became conscious, then I realised what the heck was going on, and now I'm deciding to change it. It's as simple as that. Don't be frightened of it, don't be in fear of it, just decide for yourself, right, okay, you had me, fair cop gov, no more. That's it, the end of it, period.
Well, agreed. And something else, too. For those that are looking for the answers of this, all you need to do is go to my blog page, okay? It's at I'm going to say it really slow so that when you play this back, which is the download, you can download this and listen to it 100 times to get it. It's www.loveovermind.wordpress.com. And go to the little tab at the top of the opening page when you go there that says Court Remedy. And then you're going to do a little bit of reading because I'm not holding your fucking hand anymore. It's there. You know how many people came together to get that tab working? To have that truth there? You lazy shit. And you can't read? It's not rocket science, guys. And I mean it. I am sick, sore, and tired. Go ahead.
Say the website one more time, Kate, and then I want to say something.
Yeah.
One more time. Say it one more time.
One more time for all the sleepies. www.loveovermind.wordpress.com.
Okay, great. And there's a lot of stuff in there. And one of the things, Kate, that people, reactions that people have, they'll take one step. Okay, so they're in this pain. Every step they take, like Tony was saying, you're in this pain of realizing you were duped. You're trying to wake up. It's a painful awakening. Every step you take is like a pebble in your shoe, and you're like, oh my God, I feel this pain. So you have to sit down on the park bench, take the shoe off, remove the pebble, and that's only one part. You got to put the shoe back on. You need to get up off your duff and continue walking. And even if you get that far and you go, oh, but my foot still hurts, yes, because the wound where the pebble left itself embedded in your foot is still trying to heal. So as you continue to walk, there's going to be some residual pain until that heals, but you've removed the pebble, and you must keep walking. You don't stay seated on the bench saying, well, I took the pebble out, now what? Get back up. Start walking without the pebble in your shoe. And the pain will subside. You will start to walk more freely. But you've got to do multiple steps.
Oh, and by the way, I do have to mention, great breathing there. I caught what you were doing, and I need to announce, I pay attention, love.
Yeah, right.
Don't you love me?
I'm a quick study. study. Thank you for training me. So.
Yes, you are. What was I going to say there? That's what I was going to say. Patrice, in the very near future, when she's ready and set up and everything happy, is going to be one of the newest hosts on Freedom Reigns Blog Talk Radio.
Right. I look forward to that. Thank you for the invitation to do that, Kate. And I want to be a source of encouragement to people. I understand the feelings of pain. I understand that sort of doubt, like, well, I took the pebble out, but it still hurts every step I take. Why is that happening? Or, gee, this didn't work. You want to say, well, the step of removing the pebble didn't work. Well, it did. It did. It's a process. Things take time. healing is not instantaneous. Neither was the destruction instantaneous. We're not gonna reverse something that's been going on for a very, very long time through one filing. It's a process, and you have to continue to take every step of your being in that process and understand that there's still going to be some residual feelings or acute sensitivity or shifts in perception, and things are going to change. You're going to have that queasy, uncertain feeling that comes, and that uncertainty and mind-body changes where you're like, oh my God, I want to vomit, or I feel nausea, or I can't sleep, or I feel very agitated and restless. Those are all normal experiences. That doesn't mean something's wrong. It means that something's changing, and that's okay.
Yeah, if you don't experience those things, you're not awake. You just aren't awake. And only when you start experiencing that sudden anxiety in your gut that maybe you've done something that's totally outside your own box. Guess what? You finally made the move to do something. And I'm sick and tired of people saying, "Well, I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure where to start. And I don't want to drive without a license. And I don't want to, that." Fine.
Right, they keep walking with the pebble in your shoe. Every step you take is going to hurt.
Exactly.
TikTok.
Yeah, you want to be a coward, and you want to be in fear of an illusion, which is what this place is. And this is how they've controlled us. They've made us think that this is somehow real, and it's not. It's a game, guys. It's just a game, and it's got you trapped in loop after loop after loop, and until you, not them. That's why they're here. That's the good part of it. They're here to wake you up. They're here to crush you and wake you up. Good and evil. There is no or here. The only or here is the gold that is within, and you close your eyes and you find that ore and you mine it, as in make it yours. That's how it works. It's a very simple thing. We're all one. And I am passionate to the degree that I don't want to see another aspect of myself get trashed. I know what it feels like to have a gun shoved in my face, and I know what it feels like to know that shotguns and other guns were shoved in the face of my family. I know what it feels like to have criminals and corrupt lawyers and courts, the Newmarket Courthouse, the sheriff in Guelph, the city mayor of Guelph, by the way, is completely liable for all the actions of all her goons below her. So Karen Farbridge, your fucking days are numbered, love. I'm sorry, but the word's going out this week. I've already got everything put together. They thought I was fucking sleeping or running scared. No, I'm a very smart cat. I will stand back and go, okay, I'll lick my wounds for a little while and see what I needed to learn from that. And as soon as I learn from that, I get up 10 times stronger and I come at you fucking 100 times faster and harder. I'm Irish. Get over it. It's what we do. We've been dealing with the Crown for a long time. And quite frankly, this is the last round and they lose. I'm going to make sure of it, in absolute peace, love, and honor. And that's the one thing they can't handle. Those lying little kids that are part of the bar society, all you lawyers out there that think you actually learned something and you think you're fucking important because you're driving around in a BMW and own this big house and all this shit. Well, guess what you're taking with you when you drop that body? All your experiences and all your karma coins. And guess what happens when you come back? You get to be one of us, and you get to be shit on from heights that you can't imagine. So you think you're low now? Or better yet, you think you're high? You're the lowest of the low here. You guys are the ones that are the most trapped in the illusion because you think it's real. It's got to be real, Bill Hicks said it. It's just a ride, And the ones he's talking about are those big fat ass judges. And quite frankly, I haven't met a skinny one yet personally, but that's okay. That's just the way it is. I can only imagine what they look like in their Speedo when they're sitting out by their pool. Make me hurl. Anyway, but, and again, I'm going to be as derogatory as I need to be because I see this illusion for what it is. I can't offend anything unless you want to be offended. You can't offend me. Go ahead. Hey, tranny, yeah? You looking for me? Oh, okay, whatever. What do you need? So get over yourselves, guys. Time to wake up. If you can't handle the fire or the heat, get out of the fire. And quite frankly, don't email me. Don't Skype me. Don't ask me for anything that you can't handle because, quite frankly, most of the times when people ask me for stuff, I give it to them and they still don't get it. And that's okay. 2 or 3 more times, I'll let them go through it. And then it gets to a point where I have this one individual who questions everything I do, which is fine. I like questioning. But they always come at it from an ass-backwards viewpoint. They still don't get it.
And the last email, I said, that's it. One more stupid. Now, he said to me about asking, I don't want to ask a stupid question. And my answer is always this: the only question that is stupid is the one you don't ask. But I'll tell you what a stupid question really is. A stupid question is the one you keep asking time and time and time again. You still don't fucking get it. That's stupid. That's insanity. That's doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. So you're either completely ignorant or you're fucking shill, and I'm going to take you down either way. I don't care. So bring it on. That's fair? I think that's fair.
The shill factor is just trying to burn up your time and energy,
guess what happens?
Distraction.
Well, no, it's not. I don't do shows on Sunday, Patrice. So here's how I change that paradigm. I go, okay, you want to distract me? Watch me go tonight. So I tag Diatra right away after the email, and it is a troll, by the way, Karina. No, I don't ignore them. I keep this one particularly close for a reason, because I know they're a low-level watchers. Yeah, I know exactly what they are. But and that's okay. All actors are, and that's the way this game works. So this is how I make it blow up in their faces. Oh, you want to distract me? Well, guess what? I'm just going to go on fire and tell the whole fucking planet, because it's going through the ether, and this is the world I live in. I live in the ether. I'm a Gemini. This is where I'm supposed to live. I'm a pilot. Okay, I'm flying. But would I make a decent drill sergeant? Do you think?
Get them in line.
Get them in line, line them up, and knock them down. Yeah. And quite frankly, I got to tell you, with all these judges walking around in their pretty dresses, I call them robes or whatever, I get way better legs, and I look way sassier in a pair of heels. Anyway, so Tony, jump in here if you're still here. I'm checking. Oh, we lost Tony. I knew it.
He's not there. Okay, where did he go?
Okay, Patrice. So let's do a little test drive of your amazing hosting skills. And I have to thank everyone that emailed me regarding the show on Friday night with Patrice. I got to say that was the most positive emails I've ever had after a show. Actually, I never get I've never had a negative one. But I got to tell you, it was a beautiful influx. And you bring the right energy to the table. Me, I'm just a bitch. I'm the drill sergeant. You can be the more eloquent officer status.
Well, as Santos says, I'm also, you pointed out last night, Kate, when you and I were talking about the cancer in me, the feeling, the home, the hearth. I want everybody fed and warm and happy. So this disturbance, is totally antithetical to my nurturing, cancer, everyone needs to feel everything, be at peace, so I think there's that coming through, not just any leadership qualities that you may have identified. It's this warmth and this genuine feeling I have of wanting to nurture people. I see them limping. I'm like, can we please just sit down, stop, sit down, take the shoe off. There's a pebble in your shoe. This is not like, yes, and you're going to keep limping. It's going to hurt. You're going to have to keep walking. Your muscles are going to be tired. You're going to be fatigued. But it's okay. You can do it. Like a little kid who's whining and crying, can't you carry me? Well, I will for a little bit. And Kate and Peter and James Thomas and everybody and Dean Clifford and all the people who have paved this way, all the people that Kate keeps giving sending gratitude out, and I don't even know all half the people that she mentions that have paved this way and carried us and carried the ball this far. Yes, there are times when you can carry the weary, and there are times when, even if you're weary, you need to walk on your own 2 feet. And I understand that's hard. And I want to be a source of encouragement. I want to be a source of inspiration. I want to say that you can do it, too. If I did it, you can do it. Not everyone has the heavy hammer that Kate has. And some people, and I understand the fear and apprehension. Well, it didn't work. I took the pebble out and my foot still hurts. Well, yes, it's okay. There's give time for healing to come.
It does. It does take time, hon. It really does. And this is the one thing I'm trying to get across to people. And the gratitude that I flow out is flowing out to maybe maximum 25 people on this planet. So of all the thousands and millions of people that I know I have affected positive change, there's your one leper out of 5 coming back to say thank you. And it's not like I'm looking for that. what I'm looking for is people that find enough value in themselves. It's got nothing to do with me. You know, I have liquidated everything. I have got, you know, well, the cops robbed me. You know, cops and robbers. Well, it's, yeah, that's exactly what they are, cops and robbers. But that's the point I'm trying to make. Is so few, and I wrote an essay about it. It's always the ones that are crippled the most that are the first ones to come to the plate, and they're the last ones I want because they need help too. And you know, this boils down to helping everybody at every level. So in terms of output versus, you know, coming back, this is just proof of how effective their program was on people. That they've got them so stymied to feed at the trough like the pigs and swine that they feel they need to be because of the program. It's not now. There's no fine line here. There's a mile wide chasm between the difference here. What I'm speaking of is when people of, especially North America and the United Kingdom, you know, these self-righteous, you know, pompous, arrogant, you know, well, look at us, we're free. No, you're not. The ones that are saying we're free the loudest are the most enslaved because they think they're free. They're not even looking. They're not even trying. And they're wondering why they're in a police state? Give me a break.
Well, Kate, they're confusing freedom with a false sense of entitlement. They believe they're entitled, they're wealthy, they have everything, and they equate that with freedom, but it's a false freedom. It's not true personal agency. It's not liberty born from the inside out. It's not freedom. They're mixing up entitlement with freedom.
It's total illusion. Bill Donahue did a beautiful piece on it once in one of his videos. I mean, Bill Donahue and Santos Bonacci, two of the most prolific and most profound teachers that anyone can come across out there. I'm just a messenger. Okay, I'm a dot connector. That's all I do. That's why I'm the servant of servants, right?
Santos, his videos are awesome. Yeah, I watch some of his stuff. People need to listen to that and get a wide variety of input. There are a lot of teachers out there, and you need to broaden the perspective. You need to get a 360-degree view on all of this, not just the heavy hammer, not just what's coming on inside out, but you need the history and where you fit in the context of things. People get lost and confused, Kate, because it's a lot of information. For one, it's very heavy mental duress to learn this much this fast. Okay, that's one thing. So that can cause people to feel overwhelmed and confused and ask the same thing over and over again. The other thing that causes people to repeat is they're traumatized. They are traumatized. These lawyers, these judges, these courts, this system brutalizes us. They bully us. They intimidate us. They keep us in a fear mode. And in order to break free of some of that, it would be helpful to listen to Santos or get a spiritual infusion or just step back a little bit, gather yourself, and overcome some of that. The bullying is real. The intimidation is real. That feeling of being traumatized is real. And I know, Kate, you say having a gun shoved up your nose, but there are very many other ways that they traumatize us through psychological violence, with the paperwork, with the lies that are propagated, with the false smile, the whole thing, machinery. There's so many piece parts to the machinery that harm us and traumatize us. And while you're busy trying to overcome one trauma, they're battering you with another. And it's real. It's real. What you're experiencing, listeners, is real. We're not undermining your trauma and saying, oh, well, you have a broken leg, run anyway. Running on a broken leg is difficult. But we're saying, okay, can you at least cast it or find a crutch to use, and you can go on this path, or it'll heal. But if you cast it and let it set, and you'll still be able to, in so much time you'll be able to be running again. But acknowledge the wounds and compensate for them, and do what you can. Okay, the information is so overwhelming and can cause so much mental duress and confusion. Take the small bits that are immediately resonant to you and take action on them.
Agreed.
Take the small one, take action, build confidence, and continue to go forward.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things that I do want to carry across to people out there right now that are tuned in, that are listening, that are awake, it is people like Patrice, myself, Tony, Peter, Diatra, all of us all of us have been in the thick of this fight, taking blow after blow after blow. And you have so many people out there that are dialed in, and generally most people only come to the table when it's their final act of desperation in a position of weakness. And that's one of the reasons why, in my particular case, for a lot of years, I've never been wealthy in terms of their monetary stuff, but I've never, I've been through the mill that way too, but prior to this, but what I did have was an ability to keep creating, and that was all it took for me. And I don't bow. I started this life off in rather precarious situations. I've been through a personal mill on more levels than as someone told once many years ago. And this is before all this crap went down. She said, "Oh, Kate, if I've been through even 10% of the stuff you've been through, I probably would have put a gun in my mouth." And that's exactly what it takes for people like me, not you. I'm not talking about anyone listening out there. We all have our different roles and our different strengths and our different experiences to grow from, or we yield to them. What I'm asking people out there to do, I'm not asking you to go out and walk into a courtroom and make a judge bow. That's not what that was about either. I just did what I thought was right. And that was it. And that's the difference. When you see a wrong occurring and you know it's wrong, don't stand there and let it happen, because I'll tell you what happens in that cycle of karma. You get to wear it by omission or commission. You're either part of if you're not part of the solution and helping that solution come around, then you're as guilty as the lawyers, as the judges, as the cops that are beating innocents up. The military that is walking around this world putting guns in the faces of brown people and offing them. Okay? So this is what I'm talking about. It's about seeing something and actually just speaking up. Because here's the thing, every time you speak up in a very small way, what that does for you is it shorts out the program. In a very small way, but it shorts it out. And what it gives you is that little bit of confidence, knowing that you're the little engine that could. And that's all it takes. I'm not asking people to walk out and walk into the police station and serve stuff up like I've done, and walk into courthouses and serve shit up like I've done. Standing in the face of 15 officers at my home that they had just kidnapped me at gunpoint 2 weeks prior, and tell them they're trespassing, which they were. I don't care. That's where I was having my experience. That's where I was living. That's where I had chose to be. And no less than 15 cops at my door, smashing it in with of course it was the biggest cop. Comes up and he's like, everyone's piled behind him, go get him, kind of thing. And he puts a boot to the door and smashes the door into me, and then yanks me out of the back hallway by the hair, pulling I don't know how much hair out of the back of my head, and that kind of stuff. And the whole time I'm thinking, these poor dogs. What kind of treats are they getting? They're getting table scraps from the one above them, getting table scraps, a few more table scraps, but they're still table scraps, because here's the joy of this. The knowledge I have can have them not having to worry about, paying mortgages and being slaves of usury to a fictitious bank and fiat paper they created at will currencies. This is the kind of stuff that I'm putting forth. I mean, these guys are the ones that, they're busy trying to take me down, and the first thing I'm going to do is, and I will do it, and I'm in that position now to help them. I'll help them solve their mortgages. I'll help them solve their fraud car loans and everything else, because quite frankly, everything on this earth belongs to all animals, insects, birds, humans. For a smart animal, we're the only animal on the planet here that has to pay to live here. I didn't charge the squirrels in my roof rent.
Or for the nuts that fell from the tree. Kate, I was watching, sometimes I have those sleepless nights, like I'm sure a lot of our listeners have. We've all had them. And in order for me to sort of, get through the dark nights, once in a while I go to the grocery store and get a red box, to stick a video in my little laptop, because I don't have much with me. I'm kind of living a very small footprint right now, as you know. And so I'll just kind of, look for stories of hope and inspiration. I'm always searching for that character reference or that one little, line in a movie that, touches me or gives me sort of that, what can I go to sleep by tonight? And I was watching, believe it or not, The Help. And so you were talking about, being the abomination on the brown people or if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem, and you need to stand up for things that are wrong. And so, those of you who have seen The Help, those of you who haven't, go see it. It's a good little story of inspiration. There's much to be harvested from that movie as far as character integrity, courage, and all the rest. So if you're looking for sources of inspiration, that's a good one. And the line at the end of the movie, one of the main characters of the movie, if you've seen the movie, and I'll remind you of the line because I just was watching it last night, was, she finally walks away from being a maid for the very last time and raising her very last white child. And, she says, well, no one had ever asked me before what it was like to be me. And once I started to tell the story of being me, I never felt so free. And the movie ends with her walking down the street, setting herself free from the inside out. And it was such a powerful line. I'm like, oh my God, that's what we're doing here. This is what, Kate, what you're saying. It's your message. It's what James Thomas is doing with the divine providence. It's you have to be yourself. What is the story of me? When someone says, what kind of life do you want to lead? You lead it from the inside out. That comes from telling the story of what it's like to be you.
Yeah, you nailed it again. You see, here's the thing. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say to everyone listening right now, you are the most beautiful photon of light energy in the universe. You know why I know that? Because you're me. We're all from Creator Source. And I'm probably going to spend a bit of time over the last hour and 5 minutes we have here ripping religion's a brand new asshole, because they're the biggest part of the problem. You want a good war? Get a good religion or two. You need two, actually. So in order to have my God's better than your God, so I'm going to kill you to prove it kind of mentality. Right? So, it's just a way.
Did we get Tony back? Is Tony there?
We got him back. I bring him in. Hey, Tony, as soon as you do get on the board, as soon as you get through, don't worry, I will have made your mic hot, so you'll already be there, okay?
Yeah, got it.
I've got it open, looking constantly, so there you go. But, and here's the thing about Rome, and I will bring this up because, the whole religion thing is manufactured. It's a manufactured control. In that certain individuals manage to get the keys to controlling others in their most malfeasant way. And what they've done is they've hidden so much of the truth, and then they've implemented the fear paradigm to keep you controlled. Be grateful today that we're not worrying about getting burned at the stake because we say something against their God, that we're not getting, hung or getting the Algerian hook run through us because we happen to disagree with their beings that used to walk around cross-dressing, in their age, And, and don't mind me, guys. I'm going to be real light on this stuff in terms of how I approach it, because these are beings that take themselves far too seriously. And if you get to know me over any period of time, anyone that does know me, one of my favorite sayings of all time is, don't worry, you'll get over me. I did. And that's, when you can learn to say that to yourself, that was my biggest lesson. When I could learn to say that to myself, that's when the healing process began with me. And I've been in my own prison for a lifetime here. So I know what it's like to be free. And I go back to Mary Croft, and one email she sent me 2 years ago that actually allowed me for the first time in my life. I mean, I'd already, been there, but there was that one defining moment when she just said something the right way, and I was able to turn that key of the cage side myself. It's okay to be me, and it's okay to be you. It's okay to be that which you want to create. And I'll tell you something else, Tony. I'm going to get you railing on this one a bit too. The last thing these guys want, the ones that want to keep this paradigm going, is the last thing they want are people being now.
because only when people are in the now are they messing with the time paradigm that they want to manifest, because there is no controlling that. And that's the reason why when people awaken, and I use the term loosely, but we all awaken to certain degrees, but as soon as there is a hint of anyone awakening, that's when you're going to get the cops tailing you. That's when you're going to get noticed. And it's not because you're doing something wrong, it's because you're doing something right.
Hey, yes. I tell you, you are absolutely bang on. That's the point. If you plan these things and say, right, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and this is how it's going to go, blah, 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 the more plans you put into something, the less chance of you actually making it happen there is. When you resonate with something, in other words, you vibrate, you pick up, should I do this or shouldn't do this, in your mind, and you resonate with that vibrational feeling of what it is that you're talking about, nobody can mess with that, because you haven't made the decision yet. That's
I agree. I thought you were going to keep going there. So, and remember, there's not going to be a delay with me because I mute my mic because I don't want the tap 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 on my keyboard going while I'm listening and trying to keep people in the loop here. So carry on.
Yeah, no, totally. That's the thing. That's what I learned a long time ago. Every time I was making plans and making sort of like, right, I'm going to do this, going to do that, something would always go tits up. And I'm thinking, how the bloody hell, how many times does this experience need to happen to me until I finally get it? And that was the point. It was like, holy shit, that's it. Don't make plans and don't give out there what you're going to do, because they're picking up on what you're going to do and changing it so that you don't actually do it. Look, this
right, they run interference. Right.
But it is true. This is the point. The technology that they've got is way beyond most people's imagination, let alone comprehension. And this is why the only true thing is whether or not you can resonate with this information. Because only by resonating with it and thinking, shit, we got something there, that you got a point, you know, or whatever. When you resonate with a piece of information, you feel it out for what it really is. And that's the ticket when you resonate with it.
Yeah, I agree totally. I totally agree. And what they can't handle, what they really can't handle are, how would we put this? When you haven't planned on anything, which I don't do, I just kind of do things. Yeah, it creates havoc within that planned paradigm that they want, and that's why they use fear, and that's why they use things like holidays. And I want to bring up the fact that right now, and this is the point I was going to make with Bill Donahue, what he had said with regards to having blessings in life, where, you know, here we are in the fictitious jurisdiction called Canada, the landmass anyway. They're celebrating Thanksgiving this weekend. So here we're going to have a bunch of fat people sitting around, stuffing their faces full of food, giving all sorts of thanks, not realizing that this particular holiday, and it's coming up on the anniversary of Kennedy assassination in the U.S. What are the odds? Pretty good, apparently, for Thanksgiving, where, you know, they're sitting around, the pilgrims and the Indians and everybody's happy, and they want to paint this beautiful picture. But the true story is, they, you know, that Thanksgiving that they were referring to was the natives that opened their arms to these white blood-crossed Christians that came ashore to, you know, save them, apparently, ended up slaughtering them. That's gratitude for you. So that's what you're celebrating this weekend, Canadians. So get fat, get stupid, because here's the thing: the fatter you get, the slower you can run, and you're going to need to. You know, and I hate to say that, because I look around, and I'll be blunt, and there is something you can do about it. It's called eating right. And Tony, we can get into genetically modified organisms on the next show. We're together, but people need to know what kind of poisons they're ingesting, and they also got to know that when you look at the side label of anything they're getting from the grocery store, you might want to look for a Circle K or a Circle MK or a Circle COR or a Circle U. just to know that that's a kosher tax, and what you're doing is a rather large percentage of the money you're putting out into that product is going to the local. And this is not against Jews, by the way. I need people to get this. They better learn to define we're all Jews. Okay, we need to get this, guys. This is why they try to make everyone think that they've scapegoated the Jew mentality or culture for so long, and they keep falling for it. And they sell them on this Chosenite bullshit from the literal translation of a book that is absolute bullshit or absolute truth if you know how to read it. And it's got nothing to do with literal. You take that Bible literally, and you got the world around you. You happy with it? I've said this before, Tony. You've heard me. How many times have I talked about this? You cannot take that book literally. And I'm talking about the Quran. I'm talking about everything, Kabbalah, all of it. It's all mystical teaching. And we're all Jews inside. That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Can you talk about that concept then about the chosen? Because every religion has this idea that they are the chosen ones. The Jews are chosen, the Christians are chosen, don't be left behind. The Muslims are everyone else is an infidel and they're the only ones with the true God. Where does this idea of they're chosen, if you belong to one religion, you're chosen and everyone else is not. I've never understood that.
Well, the bottom line is this. It comes out of Sun Tzu, The Art of War. It's called Divide and Conquer. And here's the thing. When you can convince an enemy that they've won, they're already beaten. Right. And that's the thing. When you approach somebody from look at you, aren't you special? You're pandering to the ego. And, of course, when people have this selling feature of feeling like somehow some book that somebody else wrote in a literal, that they're taking literally, which was actually a mystical book, and I don't care what book it is. They're all mystical manuals. There's nothing religious about it. What they've done is they've taken the literals and they've created that beautiful Sun Tzu, divide and conquer, as I call it, divine dead and divine cursed. And until people understand the singularity of the duality here, which that means there is good and evil in everything. And you have to see both at the same time in order to grasp what is truth. And that is where you find truth. You find it right in the middle. It's in perfect balance, in perfect harmony with everything. And I've lived it my whole life. I've walked down the middle of that electromagnetic male-female positive-negative paradigm. And as the natives used to refer to two spirits like myself, we were the walkers between worlds. And I get it. It's about finding that center ground. It's about finding the middle C. And the letter C, by the way, as most people know, I spent most of my time deciphering the Angle-ish or Angel-ish English language, tongue-pledge, langage, right down to the very letter and what every letter translates into. And it's a sentence unto itself. And when you finally understand what you're reading, and that's how the final realization was. Every letter, number, symbol, shape has come off the Vesica Pisces, sacred geometry, flower, or as you probably say, a flower of life. It's the flower of life. It's the giver of creation. And what they did, all these letters were created off that grid, and therefore they have the power of original creation. But you can't copyright creation, bar society mentality screw-ups. I'm sorry, you can't do that. That creation belongs to all. And I don't care what your station in life is. I don't care if you get up in the morning going woohoo and you're out and you're collecting garbage and that rocks your world, or you're inside somebody's skull, trying to fix something in somebody's head. Okay, I don't care. You're all the same to me because you all have a very important role to play. We are all pieces of a very large puzzle. If you take one of those pieces out, the picture is never complete. And all I'm trying to do is make people aware that they are the most important being, that they are each, every one, the Chosenite. We all have our role.
Yes. That was in the help last night too. Every time she was working with her young children in her care, she would always tell them, you are kind, you are smart, you are important. And she made it her mission to tell every young child to find their own kindness and intelligence and importance. she did that. You know, it was an interesting thing. You are important, and she would make them repeat it to her. Remember what I told you about yourself? You know, and the little children learn. The children learn. They're so innocent and open and ready for that. You know,
exactly.
So it's beat out of us. It's bullied out of us. It's traumatized out of us. You know, we're beaten into some sort of perverted submission. It's awful.
Yeah. Well, it's time to hand that bluff back, guys. And I'm you're back in there, Tony, by the way. I'm putting out a challenge to all of those out there that are court savvy, that are legal savvy, and that have no fear to understand a couple of things about calling their bluff. It is all about the bonds, guys. It's all about the money. I don't know how many lawyers I've heard it from. Again, City of London lawyer, direct to me. Okay, and this is all they said to me. It says it's all about contract. And the contract is the bond, guys. And it's all about the money. And I'm sure many of you have heard that before from different sources. But the bluff is this. Because you have been duped in your ignorance and your greed, i.e. money, that's why they trapped you, to get you chasing the paper currency. They made you a merchant of law, literally an expert in all paper negotiations. Therefore, when you were so stupid as to walk into a courtroom unprepared, there's a reason why that judge bowed that day. I went in that courtroom very prepared, and they brought in the top gun of guns that day, and that's the guy that bowed, because he knew he was up against something that, I got to tell you, and I've said this before, Tony, you've heard me say it many times, that wasn't me talking. That was pure source download. In the now moment, I had no idea what I was going to say when I got there. I made up all sorts of lists and stuff like that. Wasn't able to reference one, nor did I care to. I knew that what I was going to do that day was get now and get busy. Let source talk. Because I got up that when they called out the contract name, I got up and said, I'm here about that account, which wasn't on the video, so that first 30 seconds was missing. But I went up there, and as I was going up, I thought to myself, oh my me, oh my God. I thought to myself, okay, source, I'm turning off, you're up. And that's what happened.
Fair play.
You know, it worked.
Yeah, totally.
Wasn't me talking. That was just the body animated, and source was talking through me. And again, this is not about, channeling this or channeling that. This is just about connecting into the piece of the right hemisphere. Go ahead, Tony. You there, Tony?
Tony, he said something, and then now we're just getting fuzz. Yeah.
He just dropped off the board again, so he must. He
yeah, because I hear the fuzz.
But does that sort of explain the Chosenite thing a little, anyway?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay. We're all chosen, guys.
Well,
we're all chosen.
It's right. We're all chosen, and then there's also just the everyday. I was thinking how they isolate us, from one another. But the web and other things have brought us together so that we could compare notes, be a source of encouragement to one another, feed and guide and encourage, inspire one another. So, the idea also to the listeners is to take care of yourselves, take care of those close to you. It's not a joust to the bloody end. What you need to do is make sure you're organized, trained, and equipped. What you're saying is be prepared. And, that's the sort of, organize, train, equip, feed yourself, rest yourself. When you have the wound, allow healing to come, and then get back in there. Like, Kate was saying, she jumped aside. She was a good cat. She had an injured paw, but she licked the wound, and then she was ready to run and spring and jump again. If you know your paw is injured, take a step to the side, let the healing come, and then get back in there. Be mindful of the wisdom also of what your own body tells you. Your body tells you when to rest, when to eat, when to think, when to stop. The pain signals are there for a reason. Any athlete will tell you that. Any physical therapist or doctor, pain is a signal. Emotional pain is a signal. Mental duress and psychological confusion is a signal. So a troubled mind is just like a pulled muscle. It hurts, and it needs to rest.
Agreed. I couldn't agree more.
So, some of the things that we need to do is just take care of ourselves. There's a need that you have, and you can't disavow your mind, your body, your spirit in this process if you want it to be strong and healthy and resilient, and you want to claim your freedom, and you want to walk away on 2 good feet.
Totally.
Okay?
Totally.
So, yeah. So that's, and sometimes it's just connection. It's coming on a radio show like this and listening to others and letting the infusion of our inspiration or our lessons learned to share those lessons or to share tools. Well, gee, I used a tool to do this. I have a flat tire. Oh, well, there's a thing in the back of your car called a lug wrench. That's how you take the old one off and you put the new one on. I mean, there's tools. And we're like, oh, really? We can do these things. Or I have a dead battery. Well, we need the jumper cable. Let's jump that, boom, and off you go. So there are tools. The things that James Thomas has done, Divine Providence, the legal documents, the approach, even the spiritual approach that Santos gives and that Kate talks about of being in touch with yourself, or that even Tony was saying before he dropped off, resonating with what you feel, being slow enough and still enough and mindful enough to resonate with something you feel, even though it's not familiar, and even though you don't really recognize it or can interpret it, yet there's something palpable or discernible that your spirit is picking up and trying to give your body a signal or your mind a signal or something kind of a signal, nausea or confusion or like the panic or whatever it is, or resonating like a feeling. Sometimes you just have the feeling of, wow, I'm really connected, and you don't know what that is, but you feel it. Allow that. You have to allow connection to come and start to tune in and start to resonate and embrace that, and it will grow stronger. It's a seed that's growing.
It's about recognizing it.
Yes,
yep.
Tony, thank you. You're back.
I was just waiting for that beautiful space you left. So there you go, Tony. Let her rip.
Yeah, it's about recognizing it. There are many times in my life when I've been in situations whereby, I'm asking myself, what the bloody hell am I doing? Why am I here? Why, oh crikey, just picking everything up and just throwing it in the bin and just up and offering sticks to miles away, maybe 100 miles away in a different part of the country. But you pick up on the resonant vibration of I should not be here. Okay, number one. So where should I be? And you ask the question, where should I be? Where do you want me? What am I here to do, and how do I need to do it? And then you put that question out there, and then you resonate with a feeling of, right, so I need to go here then, or I need to do this then, or I need to listen to this, or I need to listen to that. It can be something as simple as what happened with when I first found Kate's information, the Divinica Reverum. When I first found that, it was like, bang! The resonation was off the charts. It's like, right, this is what I've got to do. This is how I've got to do it. And I just know it. I don't know how I know, but I know. And I did it. And that was the point. And that's when everything started to change. And I ended up leaving what was life X for life Y. Do you see what I mean? And it's resonating with that information. When you can do that, it changes everything.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree, Tony. And just for people that are not familiar with the Divinica Ultimatum Reverio Verum, it's a document I put out, in January. I wrote it in December. I fine-tuned it with Santo one night before he sent it off to the City of London. Anyway, that particular document was the one that brought the goons in full armor and armed situation. Because of that's how I know when I'm winning. every time I do something and they attack me, all they're doing is confirming that I was right. It's like we can go into all the situations where and any of us that have had to deal with courts at any one time will be the first to tell you that as soon as the judge is pissed off, it just means you're winning. Keep going. But
right.
No, that's how it works, And I did want to bring up one other thing as far as there was a couple of things came out regarding Divine Province and JT, and a bit of a, I don't know, the individual, I guess, is known as Captain Jade or whatever. It has this site, Creo something or other. And I'm going to let you people out there know when I know that something is absolutely full of shit. As soon as you have religion quoted in a literal sense on a page that involves how to get your financial freedom, I go, look at you. You fucking yourself twice in the ass, okay? The bottom line is this: if it's got something to do with money, it's illusion, wake up. If it's got something to do with religiocosis, it's illusion, wake up. There are no solutions in religion or in the legal or money. It's all illusion. You know, and I went through this site. Well, here, I'm gonna find it because I need to knock this crap out of the park because I'm sick and tired of these morons. It's called Creo Harmony. You can go to it and go to it and see what I mean. creoharmony.blogspot.ca. Take a run to that site and you'll see exactly what insanity is all about. All right, and I'm saying here's something else too, because people are like, oh, you're not being very nice to people. No, I'm not being very nice to ego programs. Learn the difference. You know, when I am slaughtering what would appear to be someone, I'm not. I am absolutely going gangbusters at the fucking program that's got them thinking it's them. You know, it's like it's like me. I look at a doll that can only regurgitate certain lines when you pull its string. You know, eventually I'm going to bust the program out of it, and then all of a sudden there's the real living being, the beautiful photon of light. And it's only because I love you that much that I will slaughter you that much. The program. There's a difference. When people are all emotional and all, you know, whatever, all caught up in their paradigms of illusion and physical reality and all the rest of this crap, as soon as I see people that are caught in that, I know what they're caught in. They are caught in the reptilian brainstem 250 genome program that was put into the human DNA to make them into that. That is not you. That is the program. And that's what they use on the TVs to program you, the 60 cycles, the 60 hertz, the MK Ultra shit, the HARP, all of it. It's all designed to keep that reptilian it's a we're dealing with pure energy. You can back me up on this.
Wait, Kate, you're breaking up. Slow up. You're breaking up. We lost you at the last 10 seconds.
Okay, that's just me getting over the top, eh? Normal.
I think we need to actually clarify a couple of things here about how we've ended up with some kind of reptilian brain inside of us.
Yeah.
Right? So, what if people want some answers, they need to go back and start looking at DNA. Now, what they will find when they look into DNA is that the human genome has been spliced. I'll repeat it, spliced with a hominoid species on Earth in order to make the human race. And this is fact. I can't go out there now, start mucking with everybody else's genome just to try and prove a point that I'm trying to give you about, well, I'm just saying the human genome has been spliced. No, when you go off and you do some research and you research this information, you'll find that this is in fact true. And so we have been spliced with different species and put together as a human being. And there's lots of other aspects to this, but it's true. We are an experiment, and this experiment is just about to come to full term, to say the least. But fascinating subjects.
Well, you know, but Tony, there's a Michael Tellinger has been doing a lot of work on that, and he's proven a lot of that, and he's written a book called Slave Species of God that does a very good job of detailing for people who want a more scientific explanation of the DNA splicing that you're talking about. The book Slave Species of God details that, and Michael's work, Michael Tellinger, his work, and he's got some information out on the web, like you said. You can go, listeners, and research this. What Tony's saying is true, and there is some very deep research that's been done to expose this and highlight that. And you can read these books. These books have been coming out in recent years and documenting many, many years of research to prove what Tony just said. So for those of you listeners out there that are going, wait, that's way out there, it's too far out of your sphere, or you're like, wow, that's, heavy-duty, blowing your circuit stuff, read. Go back to the beginning. Look up things like Slave Species of God. It's a very good book, and it will detail for you what Tony just said.
This is the beauty of the book. I mean, Michael Tonger also did Adam's Calendar and all that sort of information.
Adam's Calendar, correct. It's all very, very well researched material. And for those of you who are not familiar with it, or you feel like, Kate and Tony and I are out in La La Land, we're not. You can educate yourself on these things and do some reading and absorb the material. When you absorb the material in your own brain, instead of watching TV like Kate says, because I'm not a TV watcher, so I get the whole 50-second thing. Get away from the TV, do some reading, absorb the material, do some thinking, resting, sleeping on it. Your brain will start to work with the material, and it won't it will stop frightening you. It won't seem so foreign. It won't be like you've been dropped in a foreign land and everyone's speaking a foreign language and you don't know what we're saying. So when Kate gets on one of her rouses and she's speaking a mile a minute and throwing all these things out there at you, harping, okay, the mind programs, and you're like, oh, I don't even know what she's talking about. I know there's some listeners out there that are just blown away, like you don't even know what half the words are. You can start to educate yourself and do some reading, and it won't feel so foreign after a while. You can immerse yourself in the material and start to own the material. And when you own it, you'll feel more comfortable, and then your learning will really take off. It really will accelerate.
Accelerate isn't even close. It'll go on.
Again, and I love the way you put that, Patrice. And really, I'll be the first one to tell you that I when I get going, a lot of times people will have a hell of a time keeping up. My attitude is simply this: it's my universe as well, and everything I can get out from my own consciousness into the the uber consciousness of all. Whether you actually grasp what I'm saying, it doesn't matter. It's in the Akashic. It's going to get downloaded. And you used the word the other night when we were talking. Regardless if you grasp it on the first pass with me, it doesn't matter, because everything that you have heard is now in your consciousness. It just needs a little time to, what's the magic word?
To simmer or marinate. Marinate is the word.
That's right.
Let it marinate.
Oh, free for anyone to get everything I'm saying. That's my job. Okay, so all I'm trying to do is this is my way of getting the truth into the Akashic, whether you're tuned into this station right now or not. Doesn't matter. It's going out there. That is what, when I speak of the now and when I speak of the universe mind of all, this is the oneness, not the mass consciousness of the control program ego, because only those that get offended are under the control of an ego program. So if anyone out at any time has ever felt offended by what I've said, that's not you, that's your ego. Spot the difference. And this is what I'm trying to do. I am doing my damnedest to short that fucking program out because it drives me batty. Anyway, somebody take the L.
Chill, Kate, chill.
Yeah, right, exactly. She's getting locked up tonight. But that's okay, it's good. People, do you take questions? Can you take some callers, Kate? Or is there anybody on the chat board that's talking to you? I'm not online. I'm only on phone, so I don't know what the chat is saying.
Well, that's the thing, and it's funny that you say that, because I've been doing radio 4.5, almost 5 years now. Always a talk show and a call-in thing. And it was like pulling hens to get people to call in. So I used to say to Sue, well, we must be saying things right because no one calls in to bitch, But that's when you listen to normal talk radio, you have these stupid duality issues that people talk about. Is being gay right or wrong? And then of course you get all sorts of fucking idiots calling in, giving their two. Right. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, okay, including me. Because what I'm saying, and that's why I said the disclaimer out the gate, This is a no-holds-barred night tonight because I got a friend that's in jail right now. I've already given out all the information I need. I'm honing in on this one tonight, and as soon as I get some stuff to me here, I'm going to deal this up myself, okay? Because bottom line is this: once you call their bluff, shit goes away because they don't want what we have out there. And sorry guys, it's already out there. You go to my blog page, just go to the court remedy, and you'll see that all you need to do is print some blank paper. It's only being aware of the bonds. That's the SF 24, 25, 25A standard form, which are the bids, performance, and payment bonds, and the Miller Reinsurance Acts, which is SF 273, 274, 275, and the affidavit, which is SF 28. All you need to do, you don't have to fill it out, okay? This is the, Jesus H. Christ, people, I need you to get this.
Slow down, Kate. This is important material. It's very important. I know there's listeners that want to do this, but you got to slow down. Tell them what to do with these forms. Why are these blank forms important? What can we do with them as a tool? How do we use them as a tool? Help us. Help us understand.
Okay, and show. Here, you know what it is, Patrice? I have said it so many times and explained it so many times. It's so easy. Can you print blank paper? Yes. Great. What you need to do is grab all those forms together, and you need to walk in, not to the court. If you walk into a court, it's too late. What you do is you walk into the registrar. In Canada, it's the registrar's office. Oh, we lost Tony again. The registrar's office. You go in there, and you want to go into these words, settle the account. And I've had cell phone calls from people saying, yeah, I heard about on your show about how to discharge the mortgage. And I said, I've never said that on the air, that I'm going to show you how to discharge your mortgage. I told you how you're going to settle the account. Oh, yeah, that's right. Again, people, get in the now with this stuff, okay? Listen to what I'm saying. Don't imagine what I'm saying that applies to you. This applies to all right? So this is about settling the account. You go in and let them know. I've got all the documents are on the court remedy on my blog, loveovermind.wordpress.com. One more time, Kate, for the people. loveovermind.wordpress.com. Get onto that court remedy tab, click on it, and read. And if you don't get it in the first pass, read it again. Because honestly, guys, the answers are there. If there's something, that's not really clicking with you, just understand this. All you need to do is show them that you're calling their poker bluff. You're walking in with the documents they're using to stick you, put you in jail, put you in bondage. And what you're doing
right. Okay. Can I stop you there? Right there. Okay. So even just that much. By revealing that you have the blank forms and that you know what they are, and you're asking them to show, exhume and present these forms, that much alone, listeners, tips your hand to them that you know far more than they ever wanted you to know. So even right there, that step alone is a valuable step, okay? You can go further. So what would be the next thing to do, Kate, is to ask them for copies of it with your account on it. These are blank forms. I want you to exhume the ones out of your file that have my name on them.
Well, exactly.
And
what you're going to do, and something that people need to get, and this is why I'm going to reiterate this, Patrice, that information is all on the blog. If you read it, it tells you the why. It tells you that they are the ones that are bringing the charge, so they pay the bill. I've written essays on it.
I understand what you're saying and that the information's on your blog. What it doesn't help, it helps us understand what's going on. What it doesn't help listeners is put the words in their mouth when they're at the counter asking some person who's playing dumb with them how to compel performance from the person across the counter.
Well, let's put it this way. The performance is already compelled, and all the information is there. What people are having a hard time believing, and I don't want you to believe anything, I need you to know this. What they're having a hard time believing is it can't be that simple. Folks, we got duped that simple. Yes, it is. And you're talking to someone that has stood defiant in shackles in front of a judge, making a fool of them. okay? You want fear? Spend 28 days in solitary all by yourself with no access allowed, one piece of mail in that entire time in terms of trying to, help in terms of information. And it's a good thing I have the memory I do, and it was a really good thing I had time I think what I was going to do. And it also factors in that, well, hell, I'm in here. They're not going to let me go. I'm not going down without a fight. So I gave them help.
Right.
And that's it. It is that simple, Patrice. And thank you for being that beautiful sounding board to allow that to get out. But I need the listeners to know this. They need to not believe it. They need to know this. The duping is in the bonds. What they're doing is assuming that you're an expert. So if you're not going to say anything, silence equals acquiescence. If you're not going to say anything, they're just going to go ahead and use your QSIP number and your bond and get you to foot the bill for their charge. Stop buying them fucking dinner.
So you need to tell the clerk, I want a copy of my QSIP number. I want the copies of what is it that we're asking for when we go to the counter? What is it that we should ask for? Who's the person at the counter when we go to the store?
You got to hang on. I'll answer your question. What you're going to go in, you're asking for the top dog in terms of the district attorney in the court, or the crown attorney in the court, and in the case of Canada, the registrar, because they want to handle all the paperwork. Etc. But you're not going in looking for some piss-ass clerk that doesn't know their ass from a fucking hole in the ground.
No, you want the clerk's comptroller. In the United States, a lot of the districts have comptrollers, clerk comptrollers, or district attorneys.
Absolutely. But again, all that information is outlined on my blog. All you got to do is spend a day reading. And Peter, God love him, I'm surprised he hasn't ripped every hair out of his head, especially dealing with the stuff that I'm dealing with. It is right there in front of your eyes. All you have to do is read, breathe, and it will click. Okay? But what's going to stop it from clicking is your program that is running, that you're allowing to run. What you're going to have to do is decide to have one little victory. And like I said earlier, walk up to some bylaw enforcement officer and just stand in front of him and throw a piece of litter on the ground, stand and look at him, see what he does. There's your first step. And if they make a move to you, drop something, and then you can pick it up, throw it in the garbage. But the thing is, what you've got to do is stand defiant, in truth, with peace, love, and honor in your heart. I am not a belligerent. I might sound like one. What you're hearing from me all the time is not anger or hate. There's nothing to do with that. What you're hearing from me is the absolute passion of being sick, sore, and tired of watching people get.
You're breaking up again a little bit, Kate. We're losing you a little bit. And you're talking about a boldness. You're asking people to be bold, and they can be when they have enough confidence in what they're doing. If they don't own the material inside their head, they're going to be less confident to walk up to that counter and take the step to turn the tool that's going to take the tire off. They say, this is the lug wrench I need to use, and turn it and use some strength and, determination and, pull this tire off, and it will come off.
Okay. Here's an example.
You're asking for a level of boldness.
Okay.
But we've got to give them more confidence.
Okay.
Go with it.
Here it is, Patrice. Here it is in a nutshell. I want everyone to think back when they were a 6 or a 7-year-old, 5-year-old, whatever. Think back to when they were in the cereal aisle and they saw this really cool prize that was in a box that their friends had and everything else. And I want them to remember what it felt like to stand there in hysterics, stomping their feet because mom or dad wouldn't put it in the grocery cart, and they kept stomping their feet until eventually either they got, that's enough, or, in most cases, parents, all right, whatever, and they put it in the cart. That's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a bunch of people that need to be treated like that. I'm talking, you need to be the 5-year-old in the cereal aisle again. You need to stomp your feet. Very quiet. It's just a concept, guys, an analogy. I don't mean walk in there and scream like an idiot, but I'm just saying.
No, but people get nervous when you deal with the person that says, well, I don't know what you're talking about, or we don't have those forms, and they play dumb with you, and they do their little toying with you, and there's all that stuff that goes on. Okay.
Yeah, Tony's back. No,
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, Patrice, and what it's going to take is I'll tell you this right now, everyone that's done this has won. Everyone has made their case disappear like that, because this is what they don't want out there, and I'm just going to be the loudmouth piece to do it. I know it. This is my job, and I'll be working on it as soon as the show's done. I will be putting templates together where they can email ahead if they want. They can do this with an email.
Right, or a snail mail, a certified mail that goes to that person.
Pick up the phone, even if you don't have anything going on. Pick up the phone, ask the district attorney. Say, yeah, I know what's going on with the bonds now. I don't have any charges or anything in front of me. You don't even have to charge or anything, but I know what's going on. And so if any of your goons ever want, I'm not going to tell you who I am. You can do this anonymously. It doesn't matter. It's about planting the seed. Let the crops grow themselves.
Right. Well, I did it. I've done it. For listeners that are out there, I'm asking the question on your behalf, because I know some of you either have the question that I was asking, what to do when you're played dumb with or toyed with, and what do I really do with these forms? Or I know you have these questions. I personally sent them to the state treasurer and said, I know you're doing this, and I asked you for help with this last year. You played dumb with me. The gig is up, basically. Not in those words, but I was more formal about what I've done. But Kate is correct. You can notice them. You notice them. You can do it in person. You can notice by mail or email, whatever. Like she's saying, you can do it anonymously. I did it totally full name. This is who I am, and I know what you're doing, and I asked for this help, and you're, totally, this is criminal activity, and I want you to stop it. So, let's clear the game. I'm waiting for the answer still. That's another issue, but that might be why I received a little bit of flack on Friday when I was on the radio that Kate opened the show with this evening, having me name some names. That flack probably came about because of my probing on the bond issue. Okay, I probed on the bond issue as well as some other things. So I have no doubt that this recent spate of toying with me is a result of that. So you can print the blanks, what she's saying, the SF forms, 24, 25, 273, 274, all the stuff she rattled out that's on the site. It's also, Peter tried very hard to do it. And there are some descriptors. There's a document floating around about the Uniform Bond Code. If for those of you who are more readers and want to digest or marinate, that information, losing my voice a little bit, to let it settle before you take that action. So you want to stretch out and warm up before you sprint, that's fine too. They've posted that material. So when Kate is getting frustrated, she's saying that the background material is there. You can educate yourself. You can warm up, stretch out, understand, put on your running shoes, because off we go. And yes, it's that simple. You're going to sprint from here to there, and you're going to get a response. And there's only a short list of responses you're going to get. Probably the first one is they'll play dumb with you. Now, Kate explained to them what they should do when the characters either are silent and don't respond or play dumb with you. What's next?
That's where you just go, no, I know what's going on here, and you're going to do this because I know how to settle the account. I know what you guys do. You've got, if in the case of someone that has a charge on them, I said, I know you've already got these forms filled out with my QSIP number on it. I want the individual that brought the charges. I need their bond here. I'm working on an essay right now called "Put Your Money." It's not called. It's your bond is your word, or your word is your bond. So what in layman's terms, that put your money where your mouth is. You want to claim something against me, then I need you to have your bond put up, because that's what mercentorium law is all about. It's about risk management. If you're willing to put your money where your mouth is, then you must be serious. And that's what we're asking these guys to do, and they won't do it because they're cowards, they're liars, they're cheats, they're frauds, they're thieves, they're criminals. And this just puts them on notice. Lets them know that, yeah, we caught on to you. That's it. And here's the thing. As soon as somebody knows that someone's onto them, that changes the game. Now they're in fear.
Yes.
It's a game changer. This is the end game, guys. This is the ticket for those that are still, not within the divine province. This is your way of helping me, because I'm caught between the worlds. I'm part of divine province. I've already given my bond and pledged to Divine Province. So in voice, I am there. And what I'm doing right now is walking between the worlds. And before I leave this particular plantation, I'm going to take it down. This house of cards is coming down, and I would like some help. It's very easy. And it requires very little effort. It's called emailing. Once I get this template done up, I am going to broadcast it to my email list, and they can broadcast it to theirs until this thing goes around the world. And it won't take many of us to make this house of cards fall down, because every law office that gets this information, they no longer have plausible deniability. Now they know they are acting in a crime, whether they were aware of it or not. By omission or commission of a crime, you are guilty.
Exactly.
Right.
That's it. No more plausible deniability. Game fucking over. I've had enough. No more harm to my fellow kin, to my family. You're all my family. And I will die for you, and I almost have a few times. So all I'm asking you to do, if you can't toss up, a little bit of effort to go and help out this way, maybe toss, $5 or something towards the donate buttons on Tony's site or mine or Freedom Reign. Because without us doing what we're doing right now, you guys out there listening, you're fucked. End of story. I think that's more than fair.
It's amazing how accurate that is. That's the point. We need guys' help. We need these guys' help.
We do. We need people to stand. Just stand. I'm not talking grab a gun and go into battle. No. I'm talking just stand and go, no, I've had enough. Just say you've had enough.
Right. Right.
Absolutely. Because if you don't, the next thing you're going to be standing in line for a fucking microchip. And you're...
Bingo. Yeah, bingo. Tony, there it is. You want to be a slave? Well, they're going to make sure of it. They're going to shove a chip in your arm, and you're going to walk around and bark like a dog if they want, because all I got to do is hit a button. You're a robot. That's how dangerous that program is.
They're already making the kids. I mean, the middle school kids where I was, where they have to put their thumbprint to get their school lunch. They're already doing it.
Again, it's about control. It's about control. It's about control. And they want to control every facet of your life. That's why school is 9 to 3:30, whatever, to get you conditioned for the 9 to 5, pal. That's how it works. It's about breaking people into a uniform code. And, hey, if you guys want that and you're all happy with, table scraps and going, yes, massa, no massa, and whip me if I'm out of line, massa, then you carry on doing what you're doing, because obviously it must be working for you. You go ahead and get in your McDonald's lineup and eat your poison, and make sure you biggie size it. Make sure you go to your Walmarts and all your box stores and be like cattle, because that's exactly what you are in these places. If you want to start making a noticeable change, a very little noticeable change in your community, just stop going to one of these places and go to a local farmer, go to a mom and pop shop. Start taking your energy and putting it into people that are actually making a difference in your community instead of raping it. That's all these box stores and corporations have been doing to this planet, raping it. They've been raping our mother. We give life to Earth. And when they rape Earth, they're raping you. Because our Earth is what we create.
Exactly. We can create heaven or hell on this Earth, and it's entirely up to us. We can either acquiesce to so-called powers that were, or we can decide to make our own future, and that's the point. We need to actually take back the reins to this horse and steer it in the direction that we need to go in as a human race. Otherwise, you're going to get more of the same, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse until you get a slap upside the head and figure it out for yourself that, shit, I'm actually going to have to do something. And that's the point. The moment you begin to do something, you finally freed yourself from the fear and the bullshit that stopped you doing anything in the first place.
Think about how many people have been abused, Tony and Patrice. How many people have been abused for absolutely the criminal act of putting their own plate on a car to identify their means of transport. Where typically it's anywhere from 2 to, in one case, one guy, me was a little different. They had like over 15 cars around my place because I'm so dangerous, I love you. Oh, get her, typical, if you want to spot a sovereign or free man or whatever, I don't use those labels because those are their go fetch and bite trigger words for their dogs. So let's just call anyone daring to be different, by claiming self-responsibility. They pounce on them. Does that not strike you as odd? Does that not strike you as a little bit weird? I think it does. Where cops will go up and they've killed people doing this.
Well, yes, there was a woman at the seminar who got pulled over, and she was trying to say, well, I don't consent. I didn't do anything. What is the nature of you pulling me over? This guy took his elbow through her driver's side window and smashed it and yanked her out of the car by her hair. Was that necessary? That was not necessary. She was talking. She was traumatized by that. She was at the seminar. And she was like, I tried very peacefully to not give my consent to him or to question his, motive for pulling me over in my vehicle or wanting my identification, or all those things, the control things. And, he smashed the window and pulled her out of her car. They can turn on you like that. And this is the fear that, people hear stories like that and then they get hesitant. So they're like, these tools don't work. No, the tools do work. The tools work because it changes everything. It's the game changer. Tony was talking about resonating with the energy, and it's what Kate is talking about. Game over. We know what you're about, and we give no consent to playing in your fraudulent world anymore.
Just one quick note, Tony, and then jump all over this. The bottom line is this. I don't know if people remember the commercial. Hey, get Mikey. He'll try it. He'll try anything.
Yeah,
and
right.
we're tired of being the Mikeys. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's time for people to actually try the cereal all by themselves, and it's not
right.
It's not
taste it.
Again, it's. I love people that say they don't like the taste of something. Well, have you tried it? No. Then shut up. Opinions again
exactly.
are like assholes. Everyone's got one.
Well, you're talking about personal agency, Kate. When I hear you say, take the freedom for yourself, and you have to. They don't want us walking in and out. Or personal agency is a very powerful thing, and and choosing liberty is a personal decision, and it comes from personal agency. You're going to be creative. You're going to take responsibility. You're going to find that courage, even when you feel like you don't have it. You've got to find it. You've got to be willing to taste what Kate is saying. You've got to be willing to try it. You don't know that you don't like it because you didn't even try it, but yet you're curious. You're watching other people gobble it up. You're like, well, wait a minute. They're enjoying the heck out of it. I want some of that.
Well, yeah, and here's the height of arrogance. Here's the height of their arrogance, where they have somehow risen above creation itself to say that something growing here, a natural plant, is somehow illegal.
It's a weed, so we should pull it.
Oh,
right,
apparently God broke the law. Their law? Please, cut me some slack on that. But really, honestly, guys, it is not rocket science here. And I'm tired of people that are caught up in the money illusion, trying to talk about, that one site still, the Creo Harmony site. Oh my God, I've never seen so much tripe in all my life. And then they go on to try to berate something that they have no idea about. I mean, one of the beings that posted in one of the videos saying they heard that JT got his information from aliens. He's dealing with the devil, the fallen angels. Run like hell. And they use the term "run like hell."
Blimey.
Of course, I responded to it. I always like that kind of stuff. But there's a religiocosis freak that has their head up their religious asshole that they have no concept of what anything is in terms of reality. Pure program. Tony?
I actually touched on this tonight with Dr. Rebecca Carley. I was on Dr. Carley's show. And this was the situation. We've got a lot of people that are all religious people, Christians to be apt. And they're all, they're very, very protective over their religious situation. So I was trying to explain how everything comes literally from the sun. If you look at plants, and how the plants absorb the, photonic energy from the sun, and they grow and they thrive. And you look at a tree and it's got branches and leaves and it's collecting sunlight, and it's also rooted into the ground where it's collecting water. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's as above, so below, on a magnitude that's way out there. But it's the truth. You can't argue it.
You can't argue it.
Try and put a religious spin on it all you like, but at the end of the day, you can't deny what's fucking right in front of your face.
I love it.
The sun to a tree.
I did have one question, guys. I need to get on this real quick because we only have like 6 minutes left. All the info on your site I find to be relative to, this is critical, relative to the USA. Do you have or know anyone with info on Canada? And I replied just now, yeah, me. It's all the same worldwide. Guys, everything is funneled through Washington direct current. Okay? This is the ethereal Kate talking. This is the as above Kate talking to you. You need to get the electromagnetic point across here. The physical that you think matters does not. It's all about energy in this realm and in this universe. So what I need people to understand is if they wrote the law in Bangladesh, it matters not, because all the laws matter worldwide. You can use whatever law you want. If it came from the Bar Society, they own it. So the bottom line is Washington, D.C., the United States Code, works great in Canada because it's all British Bar Society. It's right out of the city of London, so I don't care where in the world it's from. It's still out of London. So every law worldwide applies to every one of them in their system. Those are their acts, their statutes that they must abide by. So hopefully that answers the question. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So we got like 5 minutes here, guys. So your final thoughts?
Well, I liked what Tony was saying, about the photosynthesis, the sun, the energy, the things that are unseen are happening, whether you see them or believe them or not. A leaf does not need to believe in the process of photosynthesis. It will turn green anyway.
Yep. And Bill Donahue has some great videos on the chlorophyll aspect and the green light and how that actually manufactures hemoglobin. He's got some. Get to Bill Donahue, get to Santos Bonacci, get on my blog page, get on Tony's page, and pretty soon I know Patrice will have her own. And Patrice, one of the things I know you're going to bring to Freedom Reigns is that beautiful ability to get people to start understanding the ways. You have beautiful training in this. And, of course, evil must destroy itself. So the military training that you've had in terms of people and the psychologies and all the rest of it are absolutely paramount and critical at this juncture as this world changes into a beautiful heaven that we're creating.
Thank you.
That's why you showed up, hon. Anyway, we have 4 minutes left, so wrap up your thoughts, and then we'll close this out. I will say this. Every available opportunity I can that there's an open spot on Freedom Reigns, I am going to commandeer from this point forward until this planet wakes up.
Beautiful. I'm right there with you, Kate.
I know you are.
Absolutely.
We're running hard.
No time to waste now. We're in Libra. Time to balance these scales up. And I know we're the ones to do it, so let's get on it.
If people want a background information, right, if people want to really start from A and work through the alphabet and go to Z, I would suggest they download a copy of the book, Blueprints of Cosmic Consciousness, and that can be downloaded at awakeconsciousawareness.com.
Say it again, Tony. There's a little bit of noise. Say where to download that from again.
www.awakeconsciousawareness.com. And it won't cost you anything. So it's no good looking at me and going, oh, yeah, you're going to make a fortune. You're full of shit. Yeah, fine. Right, go and check out the book. It won't cost you anything. Then come back and tell me I'm full of shit. Okay?
Right. Sure.
All good.
Yeah, beautiful. 90 seconds, so any last thoughts there, Patrice?
None other than I want people to feel okay with uncertainty. Comfort with uncertainty is something you should seek because we have a lot of uncertainty going on, and that's okay.
Yeah, it is. And just to follow up here, anything that I have aired about any sites or whatever else, I am only airing that because I am poking at the program, not the being. It's time for people to wake up. Love cannot be offended, and I love you so much. I will do my utmost to shred the illusions or opinions that people are thinking are real. Different game, and all I will say is if people are offended by whatever I'm saying, then they need to contact Yatra and get their own fucking radio show, or don't tune me in. I think that's fair. I said that in the disclaimer at the beginning. So, kid, time to grow up a little bit. Okay? Sorry. That's just me, you know. I'm a bitch.
It's time to kick the bullies out the playground.
I will do.
Yes. Exactly.
That's exactly it.
I'm so tired of bullies. I am so tired of being bullied. I really, yeah, okay. I'm sure everyone feels that way. Yep.
10 seconds, guys. Thanks for tuning in to a special edition of Outside the Box. There will be many more. Thanks, Patrice and Tony. Love you guys. We'll catch you on the next show on Freedom Reigns. Love to.
Bye, Tony. Bye.
Bye.
Love you all.
Love you guys. Bye.
You still there, Patrice? Oh, God. Are you guys still hearing some feedback?
You're clear now. That's clear. I can hear you clearly now. Yeah.
All right. So it just took a minute for us to catch on to the fact we're going to run interference. Well, I should do that at the start. Don't interfere with me. Not my free will interfered with. So anyway, what I'm going. Thanks, Lynn. What I'm going to do now, Patrice, is I'm going to get you to drop some names as far as lawyers are concerned, because I have the contact information now to get a hold of this little child, and I'm going to have some fun with this little child, and I'm going to hand her ass in terms of Section 18 United States Code. Next stop, The Hague. That sound like fun?
Okay. Yes, sounds great.
All right, well, rock and roll, kiddo. Take it away for a minute.
Okay. Let's see. Just give me 1 second to step into a different location. Can you still hear me well?
I hear you great.
I'm on. Okay, good. Okay. Yes, I was on the radio show Friday night, and at the same time, attorneys Gifford and Perkins, Cynthia Gifford and Sherry Perkins, who are, evil, obstructionist, hateful, discriminatory, really in the dark individuals, decided to challenge and motion the court to find out what my identification is and what my status is and what this, sovereign citizen thing is all about. I don't, they're really very upset and creating a lot of negativity and stir and upset, and basically they need to be put in check. They're like snarling, angry hounds who may have gone rabid and need, to have a muzzle put on them or be tested for rabies. They need some strong medicine, I believe. Yeah,
they're children, and it's like I said at the outset. What we have here are a bunch of children that think they are something, and they're caught in their own trap, their own illusion. These are the ones that are the most duped of all, and this is why I'm going to share both pity and you see, because I'm getting tired of watching them walk over to the outlet and sticking their tongue in it and getting shocked, and then, of course, I have to be the one there to hold their hand and everything else and tell them to not do it again, and they keep doing it. So what we're going to do now is when they go over to the outlet and stick their tongue in it, I'm going to put my hand on the back of their head to make sure it stays there.
Right.
That's all. That's tough love. That's their free will choice. Your free will choice to be a member of the Bar Society is also your free will choice to hang at the Hague.
Right, exactly. And how about the invitation? I gave a very nice invitation to U.S. Attorney Stephen Danbrook, the criminal chief of the criminal division of...
Listen to assholes like Drake and David Wilcock and you name it. You can listen to these guys all fucking day long, and I don't really particularly care if you do or not. You want to be distracted, you knock yourself out. I love you enough to get this passionate with you tonight because, quite frankly, I'm at the end of my rope bothering to try. So I'm going to be really, really blunt with everyone tonight. If you can't handle what you're going to hear, go listen to tonight. Go turn on American Idol or something. That's where your head is, and you'll probably get a better view if you actually take it out of government, your rectum mind, in short, so the sun doesn't shine. Take your head out of your ass, and you might actually start seeing stuff. And I will say this, yes, it is a very dark area in there, and yeah, you probably see a lot of light if you know how to create it, but quite frankly, if your head's there, you probably don't know how to create it in the first place. But here's the truth of the matter. We have all these children running around. We have bucket loads of children running around. And they're carrying all sorts of things like guns and tasers. And they work, you know something, I gotta tell you, every judge I've seen wearing if you're going to cross-dress, get something that's a bit more stylish. And quite frankly, some of the romance teams really could use some pumps, guys. Honestly, at least get some patent. Show some style. Show some flair. You know, you're going to walk around wearing dresses, at least try to look the part and accessorize. Right? And I'm talking to all the lawyers up there, all the lawyers, all the judges, all the people that are members of the Bar Society that think they're something because you're pretty good at bullying kids in school, lying through your fucking teeth to get your way. This is the problem with children. That's what they do. They hide because they don't want to get killed for anything. And upon doing that for the first time, they discover very easily that, oh, well, I didn't do much, so I'm going to do it again. But eventually, here's the truth, kids. You're going to get caught, and you already are. And here's the thing. There is no time limitation on this because time does not exist. There is a statute of limitations. Seriously, statute of limitations? Are you hearing this? Are you paying attention? That's the bench of God, and I've met a few of them, Judge Murray, Judge Beazelo, listening to the bullshit tripe of Mead versus Meads from some wanker called Rook, where he just rooked himself. Queen 5, Rook 3, check. You're done. Okay, because all you did, wanker, is you coalesced all of us. You brought Rob Menard, you brought Dean Sinclair, you brought Michael Collins, you brought Mary Croft, you brought me, you brought us all to the same table. Well done, thank you. Thank you so much, because here's what's happened. We win. Now, this is one grain of sand on your shitty little beach that just turned over and the whole landscape changed. Because I rule my universe. That's what my universe is. It's yours. I'm going to be the one making the choices now. Because you can't copyright creation. You can't copyright sacred geometry. You can't copyright. I got Tony from Princeton. Okay, Tony there. As you can tell, the cat is on fire tonight. I've had my fill. I've got a friend of mine that's out in jail right now. A friend of mine is sitting in jail for a while. And I've given people the answers. Thank you, Peter, for doing that for me. Anyway, thank you, Peter, for taking time to show the bluff. I've got a couple of things that I'm going to read out to you guys tonight, and in particular, Patricia, I'm going to from as far as I'm going to get you on like talk. That kind of fire something fired out of me tonight, and I think they got a good idea now. And I'm not going to be pulling any punches, and I'm not going to be taking any shit either. And I'm going to be talking to people like Travis Emity, who needs to either prove himself to be awake or prove himself to be a shill. You got choices here, my friend, so you choose now. And I hope you tuned in, because if you don't get it after tonight, I'm sorry, my friend, but you're out of the Skype room, you're off my email, you don't get any more truth handed to you, because quite frankly, you have never stood. And something else too, and I need to get this off my chest, because this has been bothering me for a while. The minute I got grabbed at my house, and I will not pass any names here. I will say some details. Some people know this, but for the most part, there's an individual that actually reached their hand out to help Sue and I right afterwards. I'm not sure the motives now. I've been for a very long time because as soon as I got her merchant papers, and I'll tell you this right now, it creeped the shit out of her. And I'll tell you something else right now. I'm not blaming anybody for anything because all things for easy. But I'll tell you, that was the catalyst that ended it for me and her. So thank you very much for that. I'm just giving it back, just with love. That's okay, because all things for a reason, because if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have woke up. So there's your good and evil at the same time. All right? So get a big pipe out, shove it in, and start smoking the fucking thing, because quite frankly, I don't know what you're smoking, but it sure ain't truth. So here it is in a nutshell. Patrice, what I need you to do right now is drop some... Oops. Oh, Jesus. There we go. Are you there, Patrice?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry. I had a dropout. Sorry, I had a phone problem.
You never have to apologize to me, hon. And we're going to give you some radio disclaimer training 101 tonight, okay? So I assume that everything you're saying is your opinion from your perspective and not anything else.
You're breaking up on me. I'm sorry, Kate. I didn't hear what you just said. It was garbled.
Oh, so they're garbling me now, eh? Anyway, let me just go to the Freedom Range chat room. Talking through a paper towel tube, and there is feedback as well. Can't comprehend much. Thanks, Karina. Hey, and welcome to Outside the Box. You guys are in for a treat tonight. This bitch is on fire. Yeah, you know what, guys? I've had it with this planet today, and I'm going to do a little bit of a disclaimer here. And Patrice, I do have you on the board here. I'm going to make your mic hot. So just let you know that what you say will go on the air, but I need to get this disclaimer, so your mic is hot now. I'm waiting for Tony to call in. Also, Peter will probably be calling in as well, hopefully. Just want to make sure you're there, Patrice. Can you just give me a quick hello?
Hi, I'm here.
There she is. We're going to start tearing. Okay, before we go any further, disclaimer. What you're going to hear tonight is my opinion. It's not the opinion of anyone else, because I don't offer my opinion to anyone else. They can have it or they can leave it. I really don't care. This is not the opinion of Freedom Reigns. This is not the opinion of Blog Talk Radio, nor is it anyone else's opinion and is coming on to this show tonight. This is Kate of Gaia's opinion. And what I'm going to say is you have a free will choice to tune in and stay tuned in if you can handle it. And if you can't handle it, there's the door. Don't let it hit you on the way out, because quite frankly, I don't care. You guys aren't paying attention, and some of you are. And this might sound like an angry bitch rant, but it's not. This is a plea of desperation for those that are of the light to wake up and start shining. I am sick, sore, and tired of getting stupid, absolutely ridiculous emails from people that somehow need me to cut their fucking mitten strings for them. Okay, and that's the part I was telling you about. That's why I have disclaimers. All right? What I need you guys to do tonight is pay very close attention. And you're going to hear a resonance that you have not heard in your soul for a very long time. And if you don't, you get to hang out here for the next round. But quite frankly, that's your choice. And I'm going to love you for it. I'm going to let you walk over to the electrical outlet and stick your tongue in it. Never mind a fork. And you go ahead and you try yourself, and I'm happy with that. I just love you for that. But what I'm going to talk about tonight is something that everyone needs to hear, and I'm sick, sore, and tired of the religiocosis freaks, those that think there is some sort of legal remedy in their bullshit system, because there isn't. Okay? This is your wake the fuck up phone call. This is the universe talking. Why? Because it's my universe. You know how I know? I close my eyes and I can see it. I'm awake. In the dark, you will find the light. You won't find it out in the illusion.
The District of Rhode Island U.S. Attorney's Office, I gave him a lot of information, a very generous and kind and open invitation to help me with this process. I notified him, gave him some supporting documentation, gave him my status, told him who the bad actors were, and, under U.S.C. Title 18, implored him to assist me. so far he's been a little silent or stunned or something like that. So I think he needs a jolt to wake up also.
Oh, no problem. I've got no problems handing out USC 18 to anybody. I've handed it out before. And
I handed it out to him as well, but he needs to read it and act upon it.
It gets better than that because I'm going to share a little something. I cleaned out my computer, but this little notice kind of just stayed on my desk for some reason after I took 4 gigs out of it. No, I don't do much. They do. Anyway, and a little something else too, guys. I want to extend the most amazing gratitude to all of those that have actually found it in their hearts to help me, help you, help others by the donations that have come in. Those are the individuals that know what value is. Those are the ones that understand that if they don't chip in, that this doesn't work anymore, that those of us that are trying our best to stay on top of this game, who have given our all, in my case to the tune of millions, family, life, everything. Oops, just one sec. That's no. Anyway, I got 2 computers running right now because I can't just work with one. But I do want to read this little thing here. And this is the fraud and swindle statute that all non-Masonic members are liable for. And I will mention that as well, that the Masons, the Freemasons, are not held under the statutes. That's one of the deals they get. Sorry guys, I speak universal law, and if you're on this planet, playing in this system, you're part of it, and you get to wear it too. So there's, let's just say that statute limitations that you have is now null and void, coming from an entered apprentice who said, no, I'm not doing this. First one in my family did not do it. So there you go. Shove that one up your ass. So here we go. This is fraud and swindle statute. Whoever, having devised or intending to devise any scheme or artifice to defraud, or for obtaining money or property by means of false or fraudulent pretenses, representations or promises, or to sell, dispose of, loan, exchange, alter, give away, distribute, supply, or furnish, or procure for unlawful use any counterfeit or spurious coin, obligation, security, or other article, or